Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. I figure a little bit of a different type of lighting for this. Since it's a dark and stormy, really stormy night, so who knows what will happen. But until then, I'm going to do another paid request, this time for Ben. To Ben, if you're watching, I'm sorry for the lateness of this, but it is for Copland with Sylvester Stallone. He requested a commentary through my PayPal. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, I will get to them as soon as I can. You can send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And again, I promise I will get to it as soon as I can. You have to remember though that I'm in the middle of nowhere, and if there's ever times where the power goes out, because you never know, because there was that point where I had that horrible time for 2 weeks because Texas doesn't know how power works with cold. So who knows what they know about rain or any other thing. So I have a pause at the beginning. If you do want to send them, you can do it directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it by hook or by crook. So 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Again, just thought it'd be different kind of lighting. Sound like there's not much to see in the background anyway. Miramax Films, that's a big boo, I'm sure, for people nowadays because of Weinstein's being a part of it. Yeah, Robert De Niro narrating, talking about what Copland, pretty much detailing the meaning of the word, the title of the movie. This is a film directed by James Mangold, who will go on to direct The Wolverine and yes, Logan. Yes, he directed Logan. And I always enjoyed this film. I always thought it was an exceptional, dramatic thriller cop movie. I think it deserved a lot more than it got. I think it got the short shrift, and it got pummeled at the box office. It only made $40 million in the U.S., which is ridiculous. I mean, you got Sylvester Stallone, you got Harvey Keitel, you got Robert De Niro. I mean, you got Rocky and Raging Bull in a film together, and it's a lot fucking better than Grudge Match. And I think this is a wonderful movie. It's well directed, great characters, great score. This is the type of movie that I think of a great film. It fits perfectly. And the critics, some liked it, but it didn't get critically praised as it should have been, which is confusing. The Oscars did absolutely nothing with this film. Instead, they went for LA Confidential, which I'm sorry, I think that's an overrated film. Because you know what? I never hear a fucking person talk about LA Confidential. I've never heard one person in the past 5 years mention LA Confidential. But I can hear and see people talk about Copland quite a bit. So, if I go up to people, Copland or LA Confidential, a lot of people say Copland. Maybe it's just the people I talk to. If you disagree, that's fine. And it made like 40 million in the US. About 45 million. Made 18 million internationally, so it made like 60 some million worldwide. And Sylvester Stallone has said he liked working on this film. He's proud of the film, but he does think the film kind of hurt his career. And I don't think it hurt his career. It's just this is a time when Sylvester Stallone was not doing the best box office anyway. Before this, I mean, you had Cliffhanger, which was a hit. Demolition Man. Demolition Man, I love to death. It wasn't a big hit in the U.S. when you look at the numbers. It wasn't like $100 million hit. It did okay if you put in international business, but then you had The Specialist. You had Assassins. Assassins did not light the box office on fire. Judge Dredd did not light the box office on fire. Daylight, which I enjoy Daylight, didn't do that well. And so you have a string of those, which I enjoy some of those. I like Assassins. I like Daylight. Judge Dredd, not so much. But most of the public did not care for. And so they go, oh, another Sylvester Stallone film. And then on top of that, even after, and maybe that's what he meant by it hurt his career. It really didn't, but I guess the way he looked at it is, you think about it, this is a damn good film. Stallone put his all into this performance. This is a very unique performance. I've never seen Stallone do this performance, and he deserved an Oscar for this. I'm sorry, not for Creed. He did nothing special in Creed. And I love Stallone, and I love Rocky Balboa. He did nothing in Creed other than be sick with cancer and puke. In this, he's playing a very different character in terms of attitude, in terms of being meek and like a turtle in a shell, a guy in his bubble, and then it's about a guy getting his bubble to burst and to realize what's really going on and step up and be a man by the end of the movie. He's a guy who's idolizing these people like Harvey Keitel and these people who he thinks are above him. And he's like, no, I'm the sheriff of this place. You're doing the wrong thing, and I'm going to stop you. It's about, this guy who's a bit of a frump, dump, ready to take a dump in his sandals. Like, he's a frump of a guy. A guy who he saved this girl when he was younger, fucked up his ear doing it, which made him so he can't get on the force. And because he can't get on the force, his dream was lost. And he doesn't even get the girl. I thought that was actually a nice change that they did not still let him get the girl. No matter what, he still not get the girl. By the way, I should mention I am watching the director's cut of the film. Because I love the director's cut of the film. I like the way the third act is edited. I thought it was edited a bit better. And there's some scenes added in here that I thought should have been in the theatrical. So I do think this director's cut is a bit better version of the film. There's Michael Rappaport right there. He's been in quite a few stuff. He was in Deep Blue Sea. You'll see him a lot of sports shows talking some big smack about players. But Michael Rappaport's a pretty funny guy. And this is a great cast. I mean, many of these scenes is like, oh, I recognize that guy. I recognize that person. I mean, we have Ray Liotta, I didn't even mention, from Goodfellas. One of my favorite Ray Liotta performances, because he's a guy in a gray area. He's not just a bad guy, because a lot of times he would be cast as bad guys. Very few good guy roles. I mean, there's No Escape. There's a film called Unforgettable. But usually he's playing like a bad guy. Here, he's a guy who's got enough good in him to do the right thing. And I thought he played off fairly well with Sylvester Stallone. And this movie goes at a good pace. Like I said, it's got a great cast. The score works well. I forget who did the score for this. I especially like the score at the end of the film. God, where is the music? Howard Shore. Okay, Howard Shore. He actually, I believe, I think he worked with David Cronenberg a few times. I believe. And yes, Bob Weinstein and Harvey Weinstein were executive producers because this was released with Miramax. Miramax, when they were looked at with respect, and now with the Weinsteins and what happened with them, not so much. But you can't blame the movies. So here that we got Robert Patrick, who would work with Stallone again in ICU, also known as Detox. I was mentioned before, Stallone said this probably hurt his career. I think what he means by that is after this, you look at the films that he did after this. And that's not this film's fault, it's just he either chose bad projects or bad luck. I mean, Burn Hollywood Burn and now his Smithy film sucks. It's a horrible fucking movie. Stallone was in it a little bit with Jackie Chan and Whoopi Goldberg and all these other people, but it's just a bad film. Trying to be like a fake documentary. You had ICU, which I enjoy. I love ICU. It's got its issues with editing, but I think it's a damn good movie. It got fucked around and it got dumped straight to video, which it didn't deserve. But the studio said, we don't want this. We think this is not good enough to be released. People hated it. I don't think it was that fucking bad. Yes, there's some issues with editing, but I don't think it was that fucking bad. And you know what? This is actually, weirdly enough, very prevalent in today's age, what happens here. Michael Rappaport is a cop. He thinks he hears a gunshot. He shoots at these guys who happen to be black. Kills them. Realizes he fucked up. They put some evidence in there to make it seem legit. And then they decide to take care of Michael Rappaport because they don't want him to talk in case his conscience gets up to him. And that's where Stallone and Robert De Niro's characters come in. But yeah, I mean, you look at that idea, there's a whole bucket of worms you can unleash about how that story is relevant in today's age, so to speak. And but I do like the idea. I do like the fact that it doesn't go into the race issue. Yes, they happen to be black, but it's a no matter what color of skin it's wrong either way. What happens here, whether the people are black or white or pink or purple, it's wrong no matter what, and it's still a wrong thing. And it's about cops being a part, trying to keep with their own, protect their own, including Harvey Keitel's character. Harvey Keitel, of course, worked on Taxi Driver. He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. He was in Reservoir Dogs. Quite a few movies. Once, I would call him our main villain in the movie. And again, I hate to be a bearer of bad news with all the stuff that happened with the cops. We've had countless decades of films that have showcased there are a lot of good cops, but there's also dirty cops and there's also bad cops. That comes with every fucking profession you can name. Doctors, lawyers, astronauts. I guarantee there are astronauts crazy as fuck. Wasn't there an astronaut chick or some... Wasn't it something about someone drove... I can't remember the fucking details. I swear it was like some crazy astronaut person. For some reason I do think it's a chick. Not because it's a chick, but I remember like it was a weird fucking story. So weird I can't fucking remember it. But that's what I mean, like every profession has it. Sorry to be a bearer of bad fucking news. Now this guy talking, I don't remember his name, but I recognize him in a lot of movies. Who's with Michael Rappaport and Harvey Keitel. He was in The Rock. He was the guy who was very paranoid about Sean Connery's character, not wanting Sean Connery's character to escape, wanting to put the big nail in Sean Connery's coffin, bureaucratic-wise. And, of course, pause for a bit, because what happened was, there was a fucking surge, and we still have power, but the fucking TV went off. So now, I'm sorry if you guys following along, I gotta go back to here, and I want to do this tonight, because this is late as it is, and I said I'm going to do it by hook or by crook. So, I'm glad I don't need the internet for this, because that's off right now. But hey, you get a bit extra content with this, what can I say? And of course, because this is a DVD I chose, instead of the Blu-ray, I gotta go back to that spot. I love this place. I love this place so much, man. I love it that I need to get the hell out of here someday, man. I really do. One day down the road. I hate it here so badly, man. Really do. And you just gotta deal with what you're given. That's just the way it is. So getting back to the fucking thing, where was I at? It was when Robert Patrick was putting... Okay, I'm at 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Again, I'm at 12 minutes and 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. This is where the guy realizes that this is bullshit. This was not the way it is. It was planned. It was put in there after the fact. I like this guy who's like giving him shit, the paramedic guy. This is bullshit. Because I don't know, I like that someone calls him out for the shit. There's some frustration, there's some friction that, you know, someone would notice something. This is Harvey Keitel and them finding another plan B, so to speak. Make someone feel sorry for this guy, so it's a suicide. He jumped. But they probably hit him in a car. Like, you hide in a car, we'll go over here and say he jumped. So, they're hiding him somewhere. And that's why, you know, Robert Patrick, he didn't know about this. That's why his reaction is very genuine. But Harvey Keitel is more restrained. I guess I wonder if people saw this, if they really did think Michael Rappaport's character jumped or not. But yeah, this has a great cast. I mentioned Sylvester Stallone. I'm a big fan of his ever since, you know, seeing him in the Rocky and Rambo films. I've been harsh on him in the past 10 years, but honestly, that's because I know the guy can do better. I know the guy can do better. I've seen him do better. I've seen him accomplish a lot better work, including this. But at the same time, a lot of the films I enjoy of his, they didn't do well. Cobra did okay, but it wasn't gangbusters. Otherwise, there would have been sequels. Over the Top flopped. Lockup flopped. This film was considered disappointment. Because that's the thing, is that Stallone, look at his body. He transformed for this. That's not makeup. This is him getting fat, eating pancakes or whatever it was he ate. Because he realized this should be a frumpy character. And it did again. Because a stupid storm. Picked the wrong night to do this. I should try another night, but I've been pushing this back so much because I've been busy with other stuff. So I apologize, guys. I gotta do it again. But again, consider this extra content. I apologize to Ben. I'm sorry about this, man. It's just not one. This whole week it's not raining. This whole week it's not storming. And the one day I want to do this, because it's getting ready to be the end of the month, and I want to get it up for him, and decide, you know, let's have a big shitty fucking storm today. And then apparently it's supposed to rain for next couple days. Fuck this storm. Fuck this shit, man. And should have done it earlier if I fucking knew, but might as well be on the fucking moon. God damn, man, this fucking thing. It's not the TV, it's not anything, it's the fucking whole goddamn place. Just sucks. This fucking sucks. Hate it. Just trying to do a commentary for a good guy on a good film, and you won't let me fucking do it, and you're not gonna fucking beat me. I think that's another thing. I'm tired of I'm not gonna let it fucking beat me. I'm gonna keep going, no matter what the fuck you try to stop me. Lord Raiden. Maybe they're pissed because I bitched about the Mortal Kombat movie, and Lord Raiden heard and wants to do something about it. Maybe that's the fucking thing. Sorry, Lord Raiden, I thought your movie sucked. Prefer the 1995 movie. Now that I'm back here, okay, I'm at 14 minutes and 29 seconds. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. As I lose track. I mentioned, Sylvester Stallone, he put weight for this role, and people thought, I'm sure there were I'm sure Stallone thought this is his ticket to go back to the limelight of Rocky as a serious actor. Because let's be honest, Stallone always wanted to be taken as a serious actor. That's why after Rocky, he did films like Fist. He did films like Paradise Alley. And they didn't do well. It wasn't until First Blood, which if you watch, it's more dramatic than action. But then because of the way he looks, the way he talks, because of his face being halfway paralyzed from birth, that's why, because one side of the face doesn't move, so that's why he talks that way. He got put into action films and, went with it and was more successful. But you could tell that he always wanted to be that actor, and I think he's a good actor. I've never subscribed to the fact that he was a bad actor. I've said before, the reason I get harsh on him in the past 10 years is because I know he can do better. I know he can do better because I've seen better. He can do a lot better. I'm sorry. Take Estate Plan 1, 2, and 3, take Back Trace, take Bullet in the Head, take the Grudge Match, take these movies, dump them, and make 2 really good films. Whether it be old ideas like Isobar, ideas, not ideas. Ideas like Isobar or Hunter or something original that stretches acting talent, or put him in a thriller in the vein of Seven, even more of a darker like 8mm type of film. At least ICU kind of did that, but didn't do well. Although I really do enjoy the film. Or put him in a film like Drive, Ryan Gosling, that type of filmmaking, or a number of other stuff. Again, I know he can do better. And call it tough love. I guess it's tough love because I love the guy. Despite all I said, like Rambo 5. The reason I'm harsh on Rambo 5 is I know he can do better. I'm sorry. That film doesn't measure up to the past 4 Rambo films. Not one iota. It doesn't measure up to the films he did in the 80s and 90s. And, okay, if he can't do it physical-wise, he's a good actor. He could be an intense actor. Think of all these other films with really intense performances. I think he could do a really great job. Like, do a good version of, that movie 80 Minutes with Al Pacino? Do a better version of that movie with Sylvester Stallone as a cop. And he gets a call and someone says, you have 88 minutes to live. Or 99 minutes to live. You have 99 minutes to live. As Stallone, because he can pull off the acting. He can. I'm sorry, yeah, he is past the age of he can't do the big action set pieces. He could do a little bit, like Charles Bronson when he was in Death Wish 3, the fire the gun, but also you think of his physical well-being when he broke his fucking neck in the first Expendables. That was 2010. Do some stuff to get you less hurt, please. As much as I'm harsh on your career in the past 10 years, I don't want anything bad to happen to you, Sly. You want to do this Rocky IV director's cut? Fine. I would much rather a documentary, and that's another thing. I want to see and hear your thoughts on these films. And if it didn't work for you, go into detail. Go into detail. What did you think worked? What did you think didn't work? What worked? What didn't work? All that stuff. If you think Assassins didn't work, go ahead. Tell me. All this other stuff, tell me, please. Here we are, Robert De Niro. With his mustache and his tie. And, has the best line in the film. You had your chance and you blew it. You blew it. Which I haven't used that lately. I should again, but I used that many times in the past when talking about movies. They had their chance and they blew it. This is Janine Garofalo, who at the time she was getting these roles where, she didn't want to be the best friend and all this stuff. I know at one point there was talks of her being the lead in Dogma, which would have been interesting, but I have a feeling her stuff was cut out. I don't know, in the script or in the film, because like Janine Garofalo seemed like a character that would have a lot more to do. And then she kind of just almost disappears. So I don't know if there was more to it in the script or it was filmed. I don't know. Because it's like, oh, it's Janine Garofalo, but there's really not a whole lot to her character other than she's the new girl. But I don't mind Janine Garofalo. Because now that I think about it, I haven't seen her much lately. Now that I think about it. And when I'm looking at the TV there, so. Yeah. Plus, I'm being close to the microphone. But yeah, I mentioned the cast. I mean, that's Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, I mean, this is a guy, I mentioned Taxi Driver. I mean, lately he says stuff, and I don't get what the hell he's saying. Robert De Niro, some of the stuff he's saying, I don't get it. As an actor, though, I do enjoy him. But honestly, some of these guys should maybe take some hints from Al Pacino or Anthony Hopkins. I think Anthony Hopkins said, I swear there's a point he said, I don't know anything about politics. Actors don't know anything about politics, or actors are stupid. Why are you asking me? He said some line, I think it was him. It was pretty funny. And Al Pacino seems like a cool dude. Like Al Pacino, he kind of stays out of the drama. He just sticks to himself. That's what it seems like. But I like Robert De Niro, but I was always an Al Pacino fan. Now I'm just saying, how weird, not weird, but how cool would that be if Al Pacino was the Robert De Niro role? Robert De Niro did a great job. I just imagine Al Pacino now, Scarface versus John Rambo. You cockroach! You had your fucking chance. You fucking blew it. You should kill those cockroaches. I don't know why you'd be sounding Scarface in this movie, but now I want to see Al Pacino in this movie, man. Al Pacino, like Al Pacino. There's been some videos with Stallone, like Al Pacino was at a house party that Stallone had, and holy shit, there's Al Pacino, or Al Pacino wishing Sly good luck or well wishes, or like there's stuff like that on YouTube. So they've obviously talked with each other, but they never worked together on a movie, which is sad. But there you go. Does it have to be a game? Like, do a cop film, like a good version of Righteous Kill with Al Pacino and Sylvester Stallone. Or not even Righteous, like a good like cop movie. Or if it's not a cop movie, be it something else. Be it any number of type of movies. But Robert De Niro and Harvey Keitel did interesting because they worked together in Taxi Driver. And like I said, there's Robert Patrick in the back there. Robert Patrick, another good actor. Of course, got famous with the T-1000, Terminator 2. And then he was in the Wayne's World as a cameo with the T-1000, Terminator 2. And yeah, again, Robert Patrick is an actor I enjoy. He was in a good direct-to-video film called Zero Tolerance. I recommend that. That's if you like Robert Patrick, Zero Tolerance is a damn good movie. Don't just because it's direct-to-video, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. That's a really good one. He was the bad guy in Double Dragon. I'm trying to think. He was good in ICU. Working with Stallone again. Like I said, it's an enjoyable movie. I look at Disgust and Harvey Keitel. Like, you rat. Oh, there you go. He says, "You fucking rat." But yeah, the score by Howard Shore, yeah, another underappreciated aspect. Like the entire film is underappreciated. Film deserves so much more than it's gotten. I don't understand why this went so under the radar when it came out, box office wise, critical wise, anything in between. Never understood that. But LA Confidential got, you look at the Oscars of that year, you go, really? These movies? But nothing on, I think, 97. Probably Titanic won. Just Titanic was the big year, 97. But yeah, here's a, again, just nice to see Stallone. Go on before I kick your ass. Just a very likable Joe Schmo. Just a likable Palooka. He's almost the Pillsbury Doughboy. You push his stomach, you go, oh, hey yo. There you go. You push his stomach, hey yo. But yeah, Stallone, I know he gained 40 pounds for this role. He was paid minimum, SAG minimum. He really wanted to do this part, and again, I don't know if he'll ever admit this or if he's ever had admitted this. I think this really crushed his spirits. That this film didn't work out for him, box office wise, critical wise, award season wise, and maybe I'm wrong, but again, when I see this film and I see the looks, the mannerisms, the way he talks to, all these guys, how the fuck does this not get any nominations for Stallone, but Creed did? And I like Rocky. 1 through 4. I could watch 5. I could watch Rocky. I like Rocky Balboa. So 1 through 6. I could watch all of them. The Creed films, no. And he did nothing in Creed that he didn't do in this and much, much more, other than get cancer. That's like, hey, we like Rocky, we love Rocky, it was nice to see him again. We saw him again in Rocky Balboa, which he did more. Dude, don't understand it. I'm sorry. It's going to be a hard argument for you to make that there's more to his performance in Creed than there is to this fucking movie. I think this guy who, he's easy going, but each time he tosses these guys, he's got his head down, and he's like, yeah, just go along with it. He wants to be a part of them, but he never will be. Because, again, what happened with his ear, being deaf in one ear, saving this lady who married some schmuck. And then, in a typical story, he would get the girl, but he doesn't. And you know what, in this instance, I'm fine with it. It makes it less typical. No time for love, Dr. Jones. Because it makes the ending that pure story of about this high noon-esque showdown between him and these guys. Is that lovey-dovey stuff. And when you get to that finale, it makes you feel even more pity and sorrow for the lead guy. And I got enough of that. And really makes him feel he's truly alone. Like, he doesn't even have a girl back to welcome him with open arms. And again, just the way he looks, he's got the band-aid. It's like, again, everything in his power, and just how nice and kind and meek and agreeable. And it's like, no one wants to give him a chance. And Stallone got he got a raw deal when this movie came out. He got a raw deal. I say it right then and there. A raw fucking deal. It's total fucking bullshit in my opinion. Now this is Kathy Moriarty. Well, I think it was in Raging Bull with Robert De Niro. I remember her. She was I guess I would call it the villain in Casper, the 1995 movie. Kathy Moriarty. She's been in other stuff too, but Casper is the one that pops in my head. She's that evil bitch, and then she turns to a ghost, but then, she fucked up and gotta go with the rules of being a ghost. And I didn't understand Roger Ebert's review of this either. Like, I think this stuff here he complained about. Like, all these little side stories, like this girl with the garbage. I'm like, Roger Ebert, what are you talking about? All this little stuff is the seasoning. It's the seasoning to the dinner, the entree. It's little snapshots to show the characters in this town. So the one girl, I forget her name, Annabelle Stiora. Okay, that's the girl that he gave his fucking ear to, lost his dream to be a real cop, and didn't even get the love, didn't get the girl. But he, did the right thing, but it's that also that partial regret of, losing that dream, and then realizing, you know what, I wanted to be you guys, but I think it was the best. Because who knows, maybe if I went with you guys, I'd turn out like you. You crooked sons of bitches. But I'm going to do the right thing, and by hell or high water, I'm going to accomplish it. They didn't do a bad job casting the younger Stallone. And then, like, that whole thing with Kathy Moriarty, that was to point out that she's cheating with Peter Byrd's character, who's with Annabelle Stiora. And that's what leads to why Harry Keitel lets Peter Byrd die. And then Peter Byrd dying leads to maybe he will deal with Annabelle Stiora, but it's that finality of no, just not meant to be. If he has a chance, he has it right now, and it's just not meant to be, and that's where showcases by the end, he is fully alone. I think this is a pretty damn good screenplay, more than fucking L.A. Confidential. I keep harping L.A. Confidential because that's the other top film of the year, detective film, and I don't see a fucking person talk about L.A. Confidential. I'm sorry. I don't know a single fucking person that talks about that film nowadays. Maybe now because of Kevin Spacey's creeper ass. If you wonder why I'm doing this, it's because my eyes hurting, and this makes it feel better. And I'm fine. It's just remnants of a car accident from when I was in middle school. I was in a car accident. It cut up my eyeball because the glasses disappeared, and that was in middle school. And every once in a while, this happens. I know it's been. Thing also with the heat and humid, it does things as well. So anyway, but I'm fine. Just it is Peter Byrd, and Peter Byrd, of course, I know from the 1989 film Shocker with Wes Craven, which I love Shocker. But of course, he's known now as a director. He directed Lone Survivor and some other films with Mark Wahlberg. He directed Battleship. He directed The Rundown with The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Sean William Scott. That's a fun movie. That's a good film. But yeah, The Rundown is fun, but yeah, I love Shocker, and he's the star of that, so. And then there's Ray Liotta. Again, an interesting character where he's friends with Stallone's character. He's not quite with the other guys. I would say Stallone wants to do the right thing. The other guys are about their unit, their family. At this point, Ray Liotta is mainly for himself, although he still cares for this. And Ray Liotta and Stallone's conversations I really enjoy. Be jealous, Freddy. Let it out. I would. And he's with them for a little bit, but, you know, it's not gonna last. Because even with Ray Liotta, he's still not part of that group. Still not part of that group. I didn't even mention at the beginning, I like the whole part with the pinball machine and the him shooting the person at the pinball machine, which is funny because at the end of the film he does shoot someone. Or a couple people actually. Kind of a forewarning for what's going to happen later on. This is where trouble's about to break loose. You get the fuck out. Well, you get the fuck out. Robert Patrick is pushing it. This is Robert Patrick's line. You're supposed to fuck him, now open up a methadone clinic. I mean, you know, you got Ray Liotta sticking a fucking dart up your nose. I'd be afraid. I'd be scared. I'd be scared for my life and my nose. I wouldn't. Otherwise, I'm thinking my nose is gonna be like Jack Nicholson in Chinatown. But again, that's another great thing. Just all these actors working together, like getting to see all these actors share the same scenes. Like there was Ray Liotta and Robert Patrick, or Stallone and Robert De Niro, Stallone and Harvey Keitel, Stallone and Ray Liotta. Again, but like I said, I don't know if it was his previous films not doing well, like Judge Dredd and Daylight, and not only did they not do well, but the public perception of them were negative. To this day, they're mostly negative. I like Daylight. I have friends who like Daylight. But if you ask most people in the public, they're like, what is that? Or that movie sucks. So, series of films that didn't do well, and then people like, nah, I'm done with Stallone. Which is sad. You know, the fact this didn't even crack 50 million in the US is pretty fucking pathetic. And sad. But, you know, but this, you know, it's all build up of these characters, inch by inch. You know, showcasing the bad relationship between Peter Berg and the wife, and, you know, Stallone's character being helpful and trying. Now the other guy with him, the deputy, his name is Noah Emmerich. Noah Emmerich. Yeah, this guy here, I remember he was in the Truman Show, where he was Jim Carrey's, you know, buddy. I mean, everybody's an actor on that show, but yeah, he's been in a lot of other stuff too. But that's the thing I think of the right top of my head is the Truman Show. I wonder, like Peter Berg's like, I got to push Rocky Balboa up away from me. And that's the thing, like, it's a very different role from Stallone. Like, think of another movie where people just either insult him or push him around or just look down on him, are not afraid of him, are not intimidated by him. Not often. It didn't happen often. Get comfortable in this chair. Okay, I'm trying to do it because I realize there's a reflection back there and I keep blocking it. This is him showcasing the how he got the deaf ear. And that's another thing. You're wondering, okay, they have this thing with the deaf ear, but they actually play that into the third act in a very memorable fashion. Like, that's a handicap. Yes, that's why he's not on the police force. But even more so when they fire on his other ear and he's completely deaf. Like, this guy's at the bottom of the bottom. He's deaf at that point right now. Although you hear news reports that he gets the hearing back in his other ear. So he's just deaf in one ear again. But I don't know why you would want to beat the window down that way, though. You would think you use your elbow or your foot. Like, when you use your foot to bash the window or your elbow, you think you want to use your elbow than just doing this. Like, now that I watch it, I don't know why anyone would want to press like this. Like, try to break the glass with your elbow or something. I don't know. And there it is raining again. So it's probably going to happen again. So be warned, if this happens again, I'll just try to go back to it again if the power... Here's Ray Liotta. He meant to burn this place down, but he did not know this happened. What were you doing in there? Came back to see you. She needed some drugs. Drug addicted. Good performance by Ray Liotta. Nice tears, but not over the top, not cheesy or corny. It was natural. Very natural. And Stallone too. Like, Stallone... The Razzies always made fun of Stallone as an actor, but the Razzies have been always full of shit. And there are times where I agree with them on their picks, but with Stallone, they've always been full of shit. People want to keep telling me Stallone's a bad actor. He's not a bad actor. Lock Up proves that. Over the Top proves that. Yes, I said it. First Blood proves that. Most of his fucking films, even films that I didn't like in the past 10 years, like Bull in the Head. His performance was not the issue in Bull in the Head. Bat Trace? Well, nothing worked in that movie. Steve Plan sequels. Well, all the Steve Plan films are just disappointment. But yeah, I mean, just the way with Stallone with the look, but his eyes, facial expressions, and be able to work with the fact he's got half his face paralyzed. That's why I keep coming back to. It's funny with all this stuff of being PC, but people will still make fun of Stallone's voice. Like, if I go, hey yo, it's, meant in love. But a lot of people do it in spite and... Again, hypocritical motherfuckers, I'll say that. It's fine to do it to Stallone because it's Stallone, but... Again, I've been one of his harshest critics in the past 10 years. Because after the first Expendables, I think he's gone downhill and career-wise. And that's why films like Bat Trace and the Steve Plan sequels went straight to video. Which is not fair, because I liked ICU, and that went straight to video, so it's all subjective. It's all in the eye of the beholder. But in my opinion, I'm like, yeah, Steve Plan wasn't... Here's why I'm harsh on a Steve Plan. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone finally starring in the film together, side by side. And does anyone ever talk about that film? No. That's how uneventful it fucking was at the end of the day. Uneventful. And yet Stallone and Schwarzenegger together. Not with another Expendables team, together. And it's that fucking forgettable. Yeah, I find that a fucking problem. But that happens a lot. It's like Jackie Chan and Jet Li and fucking Forbidden Kingdom. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro worked for Heat, but not for Righteous Kill. I don't know what it is. Like, I like Father's Day with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams, but that's not one of their best movies for either guy. I like Father's Day, but it's not a 5 out of 5 star or even a 4 out of 5 star movie. But I do like the film. Fucking rain, man. I hate this fucking rain. And the day I decide to do this, it decides to fucking rain this much. Fucking hell. Again, Ben, I apologize for all the bullshit. But hopefully, hopefully it'll lead to some entertainment. Otherwise, it's fucked. Now I forget this actor's name who plays who Sly's shaking his hands. He looks familiar though. This is all with the funeral of Michael Rappaport's character. But again, it's like, they deal with Stallone, but they all treat him like a boy. Like, they all treat him like a kid. Just like, yeah, like he's easy to control, all this other stuff. See, that's why you need that theme with the garbage Roger Ebert to set up the Peter Bird, Kathy Moriarty, which then sets this up. And then it sets up Harvey Keitel noticing a few things. That's why he gives his look up here. Which then leads to, why does he let Peter Bird die? Because these things have been set in motion. I don't know, critics... It's all subjective, I know. I should have looked up trivia for the film, but I forgot to do it. And the internet is now fucked for a while, so I can't do it now. It's your office. Yeah, it's your party. Party hardy. You see this brother? He's a drug runner. You see this buddy? He's a motherfucker. Glenn Gould? Fuck is Glenn Gould? Was on the record there. I mean, it was kind of cool. Like, this is the one film they did together, Robert De Niro and Stallone, but then they did Grudge Match. Hey, we do a comedy, and it's Rocky versus Raging Bull, but then let's add in jokes about farts and Kevin Hart being annoying as hell, and hey, you dumped your hands in piss. Oh, it's not really piss, but maybe it is piss. And like, what the fuck, really, man? But I mean, lowest crime rate in New Jersey. Well, you're the sheriff of Copland. What's wrong with silk shirts? You got a problem with silk shirts? Well, I mean, unless you're watching that fucking show Silk Stockings with the silk shirts. Population 1,000 people. Robert De Niro, of course, he's with Internal Affairs. No shit, I've seen the movie. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think of something to say because I'm still annoyed this fucking thing, man. I just, I didn't to go over some of these. I mean, I mentioned Sylvester Stallone, but I grew up with the guy. Like I said, I enjoy the Rocky films. I enjoy the Rambo films, well, the first four. And in Rocky, the first six. I love Cliffhanger. I love Demolition Man. I'd even watch Oscar. I love Tango and Cash. But yeah, lately, just after Expendables, it's like Bull in the Head. Oh, cool, Walter Hill and Thomas Jane. But then Thomas Jane gets fired because he's white. And then Son Kane, I'm sorry, he was boring as fuck in that movie. He wasn't written well, but the acting was pretty piss poor too. And then the movie was like a glorified direct-to-video film. Sorry. Stallone was good, that's it. And then Escape Plan, again, Stallone, Schwarzenegger together. Schwarzenegger doesn't come in pretty far into the movie, and then they don't get to do much action together. A shitty 10-second fight that's a fake fight, so it's not a real fight. Arnold is having fun with the role to an extent, granted. Stallone, I don't really find much interesting about that character compared to this or Lincoln Hawk or... I mean, that character has had 3 movies, and I'm sorry, I don't find anything interesting about him. Sorry, I'm get back to this. Sorry, now I'm watching the film. Because I'm getting caught up with the dialogue. I do think James Mangold did a good job writing for the film. I'm trying to remember what he did after this. Was it Night and Day did he do with Tom Cruise? I do remember liking that film. I'm trying to think what else James Mangold has done. Can't think of it right now. Dan should have looked it up. He does see that. He just told you he saw that. And Robert De Niro's telling him the truth. This guy ain't dead. And Stallone's a character that he doesn't want to hear this because he's stuck in this scene where he's comfortable. You see a bit of doubt in his eyes, but he doesn't want to rock the boat too much, but not because he likes the crooked lifestyle, but because he thinks that they think he's a friend. But there's a cast of doubt. And then we'll lead up to further into it. You had your chance and you blew it. Was this in the theatrical cut? I can't remember all the differences between this and the theatrical cut. It's a bit where he tastes Ray Liotta tastes the ashes and puts it into the water. Won't you be my neighbor, Mr. Rogers? I wonder nowadays who would know Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I mean, I know they did that film with Tom Hanks, but like newer, younger kids, are they really don't know who the hell Mr. Rogers is? Nowadays, when they're 10 years old, they have a fucking phone and a computer, and by 12 years old, they're watching fucking porn. By 13, they're going to parties having fucking orgies. It's a weird, crazy, fucked up world. That's why you need parents who know what the fuck they're doing, instead of sitting their fat ass in front of a TV eating nachos and Cheetos in a beanbag with a hand down their pants and a thumb up their ass with the other one. Telling the dog to change the channel with the remote up its ass. Just fucking scary, crazy world we live in. Scared of the future and all that. Just like, well, maybe I should be glad I won't be around for it. Fucking world going to hell in a handbasket. This is pretty much them showcasing that Michael Rappaport pretty much Harvey Keitel being told they gotta find a body of Michael Rappaport sooner or later, so you gotta take care of him. But damn, if I go back that far, you can't see me. If I move this a little bit closer, now you can still see me, but you can't see the thing. But oh well. Get some more water. Yeah, I apologize for all the hiccups with his commentary. Just keep it here for the fucking water, man. It's like even, God himself doesn't want me to talk about Copland. So even, everyone's gunning for Copland. I don't know what the fuck the deal is. The critics, the box office, the public, and now God himself is gunning for Copland. But I'm gonna keep doing it. And it's an easy film to watch. Like, I get engaged because it goes at a good pace. I'm now bored. It's what, hour in? Almost an hour in. It says an hour and 3, but it's 58 minutes because of all the other bullshit. But pretty much an hour. Yeah, pretty much an hour left of the movie. So, about a 2-hour film, so yeah, about halfway through. I don't know why she doesn't just say, take this and go outside and read this and don't say anything. She was so close enough to him, she could have just whispered that. Just read this. Trust me, go outside, read this, and don't say anything. Like, she could have just said that, Kathy Moriarty, instead of, just drink this. I will say, Annabelle Stiora, I don't care for this character. I'm sorry. She keeps using this guy. Like, Stallone saved her life. Now he's running to him to dump all her problems. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on her. I like this line. Wouldn't matter to me. Yeah, lady, he's deaf in one ear. It doesn't fucking matter if it's a CD or a fucking record. As I asked him, Ray Charles, do you want to watch fucking DVD or Blu-ray? And him going, I don't fucking matter to me. Don't matter one bit. All the good girls are taken. Or all the good ones are taken. All the best girls were taken. Unless you gotta use some Bruce Springsteen. This is pretty much the closest. Get to it. The closest. And sorry, it's been a while since I've seen this, so if you wonder why I'm silent from time to time, I'm still here. Oh, but if I go a bit further back, I'll be enveloped in the darkness, but stopped it. Yeah, I'm being a bit too harsh. It was mutual. It was mutual. And I guess it does make sense that if her husband, even though she probably hates his ass, when he dies, how poorly would that look where she's like, I want to fuck you now. This bangs, she bangs. She bangs Stallone on the floor. She bangs all night long. From the wall to the floor. So yeah, I can understand, watch it again, yeah. Why you didn't go that route. Because he reads the note, takes a gun just in case. He read that note pretty fucking fast. Looked like he looked down just for 2 seconds. Well, I mean... Makes me wonder what exactly did Kathy Moriarty write in the note. Because it was enough that he just looked down for 2 seconds and understood perfectly. Great, now I'm sneezing. That's great. What else gonna go wrong? Am I gonna puke on camera too? Let's see. The power went out and flickers. My eyes bugging me. I'm sneezing. What's next? Am I gonna piss my pants? Is that what's gonna happen next? I'm going to puke on camera and puke Dayglow. Is everything trying to get me not to talk about Copland, do the commentary for Ben? For fuck's sake, I'm going to do it. Even if it was just me in darkness, it's going to happen. Well, over here I'm going to put the picture, the poster. At least there'll be that. Believe me, you're not missing much if you just see my face. To be honest, I honestly think more people look at these videos as just audio, not video. Which makes sense. Hey, if they watch or if they listen, they listen. At least that's something. You're really tired? Well, they'll make you sleep forever. Yeah, it is. It is, Murray. And Michael Rappaport, he's been in quite a few Spike Lee films. Had a small cameo role in Next Friday. I said he was in Deep Blue Sea, which I enjoy. That's a fun, entertaining shark film. Damn, Michael Rappaport got out of there real quick. Hiding like a bunny. He got the fuck out of there. Oh, this is when the case is closed. And he's pissed. Robert De Niro being super pissed. Very unique haircut, too. Like, you look at Robert De Niro, he looks like someone that would be from the 70s. The 1970s. I don't know, just the way with the mustache and the tie and the haircut. He looks like someone that'd be a cop in the 70s looking for the Zodiac Killer or something. The case is fucking closed. And let's say Robert De Niro, he's not in this, all the way through. He has his spots, like 4 or 5 spots. But they're memorable. It makes each one work. Get the fuck out of here. And this is again, Stallone got those doubts. And they're ratcheting up more and more. Yeah, you're fucking my wife. I think it's after Peter Byrd gets killed that he goes to Robert De Niro. But this is cool. Like, sadly, there's not a lot of scenes between Stallone and Robert Patrick, one by one, like 1-to-1. So nice to see this scene in here. At least they had a scene together. It's Rambo versus the T-1000. It was cool to see them again in ICU. I'm Gandhi. The mob built this town so they could own a precinct. I don't know, I just like the idea of just Stallone and Ray Liotta just hanging bat, smoking cigarettes, talking shit. I don't know, because they look like normal folks. Like, when I think of Ray Liotta and Stallone, I think of them as bigger than life characters. Like, you look at Ray Liotta when he's playing villains, or in Goodfellas. It's like, I know Goodfellas is kind of based on real life, but still, it seems like bigger than life. And then Stallone, of course. But it's just like, these are just two regular jamotes hanging out, being dirty slobs. You probably wouldn't be able to say that word today, Ray Liotta. Word that rhymes with maggot with an F. I always enjoyed this speech with the whole, well, you go through the red lights. And then this whole speech, you zig, you zag, you go greens. You leave yourself an alternative. You move diagonal. You don't get... Suprema, yeah, just... Which is funny because Ray Liotta gives this whole speech, but Stallone does the exact opposite. You don't take them head on? But I mean, on the flip side, Stallone does get into trouble, and Ray Liotta does help him out. Sorry, I was just listening to that dialogue. I'm sure you're like, Matt, you're not saying anything. Yeah, I know. I was just listening to that guy. Again, a really good speech. Pretty much, warning Stallone that these guys are not to be trifled with. And this is, I forgot, Method Man? I think this is Method Man who's fighting Peter Byrd. I believe it's Method Man. Officer Randone. Eat your baby Fruit Loops and shit. Yeah, I think it is Method Man. And honestly, Peter Byrd should have just left it here, but, these guys are cocky. They think they're John Wayne. And Sally will lead to his execution, so to speak. Spoiler alert, Peter Byrd does not make it. I think this is... I didn't realize that Method Man, he had like a fake eye. Or like a... One eyeball was much wider than the other. And has a chance to help him, but it's like, nah. Which makes me go like, what if Peter Byrd got up perfectly fine? Like, what if Peter Byrd was able to make it, or that other guy who's been shot? But you would think that would cause some questions for Harvey Keitel's character, where they would ask, why didn't we just kick the door down? Why are you fucking around trying to unlock this door? And what if Peter Byrd was still alive? Or still hung on? He'd probably bring that up to Harvey Keitel because it would get back to him. Oh yeah, he was trying to unlock the door. Unlock what door? It wasn't locked. Just pretty much more questions for him. So he's lucky. Oh, this Geraldo. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys know who Geraldo is. What was the one where Geraldo, it was like a big event? Was it Al Capone's vault? Like, Al Capone's vault, this big build up, what's in it, what's in the vault, and then they look at it and it's fucking empty. It's fucking empty, and it just was such a big shit show of a sandwich. And because, Michael Rappaport doesn't trust him, doesn't know who he is. There's Peter Byrd's death. Sorry I'm not speaking a lot. I guess I kind of burnt myself up in the first half of this commentary. That was great. I spilled fucking water on my glasses. Yeah, that's where he sees the drugs that Ray Liotta's character is taking. I try to remember, like, is this the last time we see Annabelle Stiora's character? And I'm trying to remember, like, are there deleted scenes where there was more to Annabelle Stiora's character? Can't remember. I do know one different thing about this and the theatrical cut. In the theatrical cut, there's a scene where it's Sylvester Stallone kind of overlooking the bridge or something again, or like under the bridge. Like I forget where he's at. And he goes back to the car with, might be Noah Emmer's character, and then they go off on patrol. I just like to showcase like he's fine, and someone called for him and he heard it, so really get in sync with the audience that yes, his hearing did come back, and that was shot. Gunshot was near. But they edited that out. Which, you know, it makes sense, because when Stallone goes in, there's a... It's kind of the Rocky... You know how a lot of those movies, they end on a freeze frame, or like a big moment. And the first Rocky film, I love you. Freeze frame as they hug, and then boom, you let the audience ride out on the high. I think that's the thing. Same thing here. Is he walks in, boom, you're riding off that high, and then you go home. You get the audience to a point. Don't let them get down to here, even if it's just a little bit. If they're here, it's okay to end it there. So, well, to be fair, sometimes. Other times, the stuff after it is essential and is actually very well done. But if you can, you're able to, and it works beneficial for the film, then absolutely go ahead. Fucking donuts. What, you got fucking Dunkin' Donuts? De Niro's eating a sandwich, he's not donuts. That's the thing with, when people eat in movies, I realize that when they eat, they have to spit it out each take. Because if you keep eating it and swallowing it, and you do like 10 takes, you don't puke. Here's the famous bit. Listen, you deaf fuck, I offer you a chance when we could have done something. I offer you a chance to be a cop. You blew it. You blew it. Ah, man. That's the scene. And you blew it. I've stolen that a lot of times. Again, not lately, but I should. If I remember, I'll bring that again. I didn't realize he called Robert De Niro a cupcake. Is that... not many people don't call Stallone a cupcake. I guess I should mention, I mean, I don't remember if this is on the Blu-ray, but on the DVD, on this director's cut, there's quite a few features, including a commentary with James Mangold, producer Kathy Conrad, and Sylvester Stallone and Robert Patrick, and they're all in the same room. I remember this being a very good commentary. Very good commentary track. And there's also a making of, storyboard scene, deleted scenes. Yeah, I don't remember what those deleted scenes are. Guess I stuttered so much I did it said this stuff twice. That's why I'm wondering if there's more to Janine Garofalo's character that we didn't see. Because it seemed like earlier she was very adamant to giving people a speeding ticket, doing her job, doing what was right, and now she's like the total opposite. Like, this might be the last bit we see of Janine Garofalo. I think. Idea is like, was there something more to her character where Janine Garofalo, again, that made her turn and be like, no, this isn't for me. Yep, he's seen this guy. But I mean, you got, again, they're going for the high noon stuff where you gotta have Stallone by himself. So of course, nobody in town will back him up, and his other two deputies won't back him up. There's a guy. Looks like a surfer dude. He's from fucking California Dreams or something. God, you negative Nellies. Fuck's sake, listen to Sly. Knows what the fuck he's talking about. Again, this girl, Janine Garofalo, is like, she was adamant to give speeding tickets earlier and all this stuff, and now she's like, she's leaving. Go, you chicken shit. Fucking dumb chicken shit. Not the actress, the character. Fuck you then. Fuck you and fuck your poontang. That type of character, the poontang stink up the whole fucking garden, and the skunks are going, holy shit. Fuck you. What was Cindy was her name? Fuck Cindy. Cindy Lou who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out. Carousel. Had bad flashbacks to Beverly Hills Cop 3 while looking at Carousel. Was that even a carousel? I just think of amusement park, carousel. I just think of Beverly Hills Cop 3 for some reason. Fucking Deputy Do-Right. Dudley Do-Right over there as his other deputy left. Now he's looking at these guys in a new light. And in this scene, I like the idea of this scene where it showcases he's a good shot. Like, let's have a scene that builds up that this guy's a good shot. How are you doing this scene here? 5 out of 6. Oh, he missed one. But this is why you don't mess with him. And again, this is a lead up to at the end. He's a good shot. So it becomes this, when it's this modern Western at the end. It's like, okay, that's why, he gets the gun, boom, hits Robert Patrick and other guys. Good shot. Okay, no, here's Annabelle Steele. I think this is the last bit we see of her. Maybe they're doing the right thing. Fuck you, well. Let's go. Well, I take back what I said about this character. I did this character props earlier, now... Nah, I'm not. Fuck this girl. And I think that, yeah, that's the last we see of her. Her being a fucking bitch. Fucking hell, man. But yeah, that fucking girl, Annabelle Steele, what was her character name? Liz? Is like, well, maybe you're trying to fuck me. I'm like, he could have done that 20 minutes before, lady. At least in the running time of this movie. Fucking shit. I remember this having a great trailer too. I had a great trailer. I had the names Stallone, Robert De Niro, and each name they took a letter and it spelled out land and Copland. And yeah, I did like the trailer to this. And yeah, that's another thing I liked about it. It becomes a modern Western, which is funny because there are some Westerns I enjoy. There's some Westerns I like. High Plains Drifter, Young Guns, Man with No Name trilogy, to name a few, but modern Westerns I just appeal to me more. I guess because I'm just more into either sci-fi movies or modern movies. Just more my cup of tea. But even like Outland, that's a sci-fi film, but it's also a take on High Noon and Western motifs, but a future sci-fi setting with Sean Connery. My favorite Sean Connery film, Outland. And then this becomes a modern Western by the end. I don't know if High Noon would be the best comparison, but it's the first one that popped in my head. Oh, the John Wayne film I reviewed a month or two ago, Rio Bravo. I liked Rio Bravo quite a bit. What was the other one I didn't like? Was it Rio Lobo? Might have been. The later one I didn't like with John Wayne. I think it's Rio Lobo. That sucked. But Rio Bravo with Dean Martin and John Wayne, I liked quite a bit. I believe I reviewed that on the channel again like a month or so ago. This is where he realizes that Ray Liotta burned the place for the insurance, didn't know the girl was in there. He got the insurance because he wanted to get the fuck out of town. There's a big insurance deal with it. Oh yeah, he doesn't find it. Ray Liotta tells him. Well, I mean, Ray Liotta's pretty honest. I mean, he doesn't lie. And I think that's the thing with Ray Liotta. That's like one of the few allies of Stallone. Despite who he is, he's like the one guy that doesn't really lie much to Stallone's character. I would like to see another movie with these two guys in it. They play off each other fairly well. Again, like Stallone, he went against Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Harvey Keitel, and I'm sorry, he held his own. He was able to hold his own. That's another good line. Being right is not a bulletproof vest. See, that's what I mean. I want Stallone to do another film like this. I'm not saying a sequel. I'm not saying a remake, but another like good film. And okay, now dealing with Al Pacino and Jack Nicholson and Sally. If Sean Connery was still with us, maybe that could be the a film to get him in there. Sean Connery or Clint Eastwood. There you go, another film with Clint Eastwood. He does a film with Clint Eastwood, Jack Nicholson, and Al Pacino. A really good, doesn't have to be an action film. Instead, no, not an action film. But, I don't know if I say another cop film, but I'm trying to think of what else it could be. I know it sounds stupid, but I don't know why this popped in my head. But I just see now like Stallone, Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson, like as ready to like this. Like if it was years ago, like paramedics, ambulance drivers who are ready to retire, and they're just counting the days until retirement. Although they're old enough, they've passed retirement. But I mean, I'm trying to think like how old these guys are. Like Stallone, is he 70? So I'm thinking about like years till like he's 65. You're getting close to retirement. And it's like another. I like Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage. So kind of like that movie where Stallone. I just think like how crazy it would be. Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson being these crazed, either retired or they could retire, but they're still doing it. And it's like I like bringing. I don't know, just something about that. Like I just think of Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage, but which is how Martin Scorsese made that so crazy and surreal, and this New York nightlife of ambulance drivers. Just to see Stallone, a crazed Jack Nicholson, crazy Al Pacino. Oh, that just appeals to me for some reason. I don't know why. Of course, the question is why you wait until morning? Just go in now, get in a car and drive off. But yeah, then you won't have a movie. Fucking Dudley Do Right. He ain't gonna do shit for you, man. I did sort of the respect. The respect he tries to give to Ray Liotta's character. I just sort of like... And Stallone tried to get that last hope of naivete, so to speak. That naivete that it'll all work out fine, and it won't. That's why Harvey Keitel mentions the men from the boys. Well, as a wise man once said, a man's got to know his limitations. At the same time, though, I'm sorry, guys, you're messing with John Rambo, so you're all fucked. They didn't know who they were fucking with. And that's the thing, I'm not opposed to action stars going to more dramatic roles. But that doesn't mean just because they did it, automatically I give it a pass either. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's cool that he did a film like Maddie. And Arnold was not the problem with that movie, but that movie I thought sucked. I didn't care for the story, I didn't care for the pacing. I would much rather have just centered all the way through with Arnold's character and not the fucking girl going off on parties and the movie looking like it wants to be black and white, but it's not black and white. Some films should do the monochrome stuff that just annoy me in that. Being destroyed. Now, this is another difference in the theatrical director's cut. In the theatrical, Stallone doesn't say this last line. It goes there and then it cuts. But here, yeah, this wasn't in the theatrical cut. This is not in the theatrical cut, but it's nice to see it here. Because it was nice to have Stallone have that final line. Like, to stand firm. I'm the sheriff. You know. I'm the sheriff of Garrison, New Jersey. As in, you know, he's not going to be scared of this guy. Taking a stand. Here's Dudley Do-Right gonna abandon him. He's a fucking pussy. Getting the character, folks. Why don't you go home? Because you're a pussy. Don't make excuses, pussy. Just leave. Fire crotch pussy. Just leave. Don't make excuses, pussy. You're a pussy. Go back. Have your wife not let you eat her pussy. Maybe she'll eat your pussy. I don't know. That'd be funny if Stallone just said, "Hey yo, you big pussy. Fuck off, you big pussy. Fuck that pussy." It's like, okay, that'd be a very different out of the blue reaction from this character, Sheriff Freddy. I do like this moment with Ray Liotta. His own conscience battling with him. Shut the fuck up. Which made sense because he would have left and he would have been driving a while since they last chatted. But then, you know, it shows that time has passed. It's now daylight. And then when Ray Liotta gets back in the nick of time, Now, there's a part of me that wonders why they didn't just kill Stallone's character. They just shot the other ear to be deaf. Because if they don't kill Michael Rappaport to take care of him... but I guess their way of thinking is, you know, Michael Rappaport, people think he's dead. But, you know, to just kill the sheriff, like, maybe there have to be some questions to it. Or maybe they think he'll be easily controlled again. I think they don't take him seriously. That's the thing. We've seen throughout the film, these guys have not taken this character seriously at all. He's a pushover, he's a nobody. You know, again, they shot him, he's deaf. He's a nobody. That's the thing. These guys think this character, Freddy's a nobody. And this is where he's completely unknown at rock bottom. You cannot get more rock bottom. His deputies abandoned him or left. This girl was a fucking bitch. He's now deaf. He's bleeding. I think some of this bit is extended. I don't think this is in the theatrical, which is a shame because this is a great shot. This is a Western shot, like showing the whole scope of him by himself in this ghost town, and that leads to this. I remember I was enjoying the film, but this finale clenched the deal for me for loving this movie. I was really enjoying the film, but when it got to this, I love the way it's directed, the music, the way the sound is dimmed because he's, I guess, not completely deaf, but mostly there. He's bloodied up, he could barely hear, and just can't get even any more rock bottom. Now, that's Robert John Burke, RoboCop for RoboCop 3. I think he had more scenes, but they were deleted. So, but yeah, that's Robert John Burke on the star of RoboCop 3 as RoboCop. That's a great shot showing again the water, the body of water, the city. I know we've passed it, but still. No, there's shotgun. Got some shotgun fun. See? He can't hear you, asshole. Nice. Not a direct hit, but he's still a hit. But this is a direct hit. Again, going back to the fair, we've seen, you know, he's a good shot. Now this is a total Western. Draw. Now I would like to have had it where Patrick did not shoot at all. Because then just makes me go, how the fuck did he miss? You could have just had it where he doesn't quite get the nick of time and like it fires over here. But it's a good death where he flew back, slumped down, his eyes completely lifeless. Finishing that job there. Ooh, see, a blood squib. That's a blood squib. You know, as we've seen a couple times. The little explosive, a pack with food coloring and stuff. Looks real. Better than CGI blood. Yeah, Ray Liotta's come in to help out. Do something good with his life. I think he's deaf, he's shot. Technically he has Ray Liotta, but I was going to say he has no one. I do wonder how he knew Harvey Keitel's behind him, because he can't hear. I guess his Rambo sense was tingling. I don't know. But great moment. It's a great moment. I think maybe that's what the sound effect. He could softly hear something. It's not that he's completely deaf, but he did what I think what they mean is that the way the sound is what he hears. Where in his he could hear, the brief, bullet hits, but barely. And like we can't hear his voice, and that's why Stallone says, "I can't hear you." Which is kind of the final nail into "I'm tired of listening to you, listening to your lies, listening to you trying to be my friend." Oh, that's the last Annabelle Stiora. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. It's like, yeah, get the fuck out of my way. Dump you in a ditch. Well, not, yeah. Like, does anyone not notice this sheriff is bleeding? Like, no one could get him some fucking help? Fucking ambulance? All these cops are like, fuck this guy. I didn't, like, don't you see he's fucking bleeding? Someone help this guy, man. He's fucking bleeding to death. No one's fucking do anything? Grabbing on his fucking arm that's shot? I like the makeup they have on Stallone, like the cut on there and the way the blood's by the ear. Like one of his eyeballs seem a bit redder than the others, like underneath. I mean, that's a great like hero moment there. Like that's a great way to end it. Ray Liotta did the right thing. Stallone goes in. Like, can someone get him a fucking ambulance? He's been shot. He's been probably bleeding. Like, someone give him a fucking ambulance. Freddie Heflin. There's people on both sides of the river wish he never recovered. They curse the day he took down Ray Dowling. But what they don't know, he figured out. No one is above the law. Dun, dun, dun. See, and you hear in this that he did get his hearing back. His good ear, hearing his good ear has been recovered. And that's where it ends. So, I like the police siren motif in the credits. I thought that was a nice little touch. Looking at the credits here. By Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. Boo! They're probably the ones that made him not release this version in theaters. Well, there's nothing wrong with this version. Why didn't this version go into theaters? And good score, too. Dum, dum, dum. I mean, that also works with the ending because you leave that ending and then you have the score. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, I'm sure it does seem like there's stuff deleted. I'm sure there's more Janine Garofalo. I don't know if there's more Annabelle Stiora. That love story didn't go anywhere, which, is kind of makes it more unique, a bit fresher take on this material. Because that would have been a bit predictable, And, in this instance, it wasn't needed. In this instance, it wasn't needed. lot of fucking producers on this. Trying to get fucking glasses cleaned. Edited. Lester Cohen. Yeah, Howard Shore. Todd Thaler. So I'm just looking at the credits now. Music supervisors. James Mangold. My favorite film of his, honestly. I don't mind Logan. I like Logan, but this is my favorite. I like the story. I like the actors. I like the cast. The score. Like, if severely, severely underrated film. Severely underrated. Did not nearly deserve the bullshit it's gotten. Especially, yeah, there was Method Man. There you go. Deserved a lot more when it came out. A lot more. This deserved the accolades and Oscar buzz that LA Confidential got. Stallone deserved at least a nomination. In my personal opinion, the win. But I mean, people, I don't know. I'm sorry, this movie beats the shit out of film like Titanic, Titanic. Fuck Titanic. Never liked Titanic. Never gave a shit about Titanic. 3 hours for a boat to sink. There's some good technical aspects. Give a fuck about that movie. Never give a fuck about that movie. Fucking boring. I like a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio's films. I like The Revenant. I like The Wolf of Wall Street. But fuck Titanic. Never liked that bullshit. And lo and behold, no one ever talks about that fucking film anymore. Even though it's supposed to be one of the best films ever, and one of the most successful films. I don't know nowadays, though. Might not be nowadays, I don't know, with every fucking Marvel Disney film making $5 billion. Or whatever the fuck. But yeah, great movie. Like I said, the cast did their jobs very well. You really feel sorry for Stallone's character. An underdog, which Stallone does a great job playing the underdog characters. He's played that a lot. Even in Lockup, Over the Top, Rocky, of course. And that's one of the appeals I had with Stallone, is he was drawn to those underdog type of characters. And I'm always a sucker for the underdogs. I really am. And yeah, they did a great job with this. So, with that said, I apologize for all the bullshit. But got through with the commentary, so thanks for watching. Take care. Sorry once again, Ben. And hopefully people got some chuckles out of this. Animals provided by Animal Actors. Whatever. That's a creative name. What's it called? Animal Actors. What do? It's animals and they act. Oh, okay. Good name. But with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.